Dr. Raymond Kelly of Bioscience.
When we undertake to do this sort of analysis, we do it in the most thorough and conclusive way as we possibly can. And we don't rush ourselves. We utilize every analytical technique we have available. And that includes some of the most sophisticated methods anywhere in the country.
What about in a case with medical legal implications?
We exercise more care in that sort of analysis than anything else that we do, because it has potential legal significance.
How about the Elvis Presley case, specifically? How is that treated here?
Well, that's the most important medical legal case we've ever had. And so we, if anything, exercised even more care in the analysis of those specimens than we would normally exercise.
How do you respond, then, to the criticism by Dr. Francisco and others that the results found here at Bioscience could be discounted?
That doesn't seem reasonable to me at all. I think that a person making that statement just couldn't be familiar with the way that we approach these kind of samples.
As you know, Doctor, we have obtained by independent means a chart, a table that lists the drugs that were present in Mr. Presley's body at the time of death. How sure are you that those numbers accurately represent the levels found in Mr. Presley's body at the time of death?
I'm sure beyond a reasonable doubt.
The findings of Bioscience were confirmed and amplified by both the other outside laboratories, the Orange County Coroner's Office and the University of Utah Center for Human Toxicology. After we verified the authenticity of the report, we took the raw data to a Los Angeles doctor, Matthew Ellenhorn. We asked him to analyze and review the data thoroughly. Ellenhorn's an expert in medical malpractice and a certified toxicologist. We asked him for the real cause of death.
Cause of death was an overdose of codeine and an overdose of methaqualone or Quaalude. And that was contributed to by a presence in the bloodstream which indicated that the patient had taken, probably within the previous 24 hours, at least 5 additional drugs known to produce depression of the central nervous system, of depression of the brain.
To be certain, we asked for a second expert opinion. We provided the data to Dr. Cyril Wecht, the coroner for Pittsburgh and Allegheny County, for analysis. Dr. Wecht is one of the foremost medical examiners in the entire country.
I believe that Mr. Presley died as a result of a combined drug effect. Various drugs, all of which are known to be central nervous system depressants, collectively cause the heart and lung to be depressed. The brain controls the activities of the heart and lung involuntarily. And when the brain is depressed by multiple drugs, such as happened in this case, in my opinion, the heart and lungs will not function properly.
What drugs specifically are we referring to, Doctor?
There were several drugs involved here. The principal offender in this case was codeine, which is a pain reliever, but which is known to have a CNS depressant effect. Other drugs included Valium, a tranquilizer, Valmid, a sedative, Placidil, a sedative, phenobarbital, a sedative, and butabarbital, a sedative. It's incredible, really, that all these drugs should have been given to the patient simultaneously. There was one other drug involved, methaqualone, which is a tranquilizer.
Knowing now about the laundry list of drugs, our investigative team decided to track down some of the people who knew Elvis best. David Stanley was his stepbrother. David also worked at Graceland as a security man and personal aide to Elvis.
Listen to me, David. This is very important. You personally witnessed Elvis Presley abusing drugs on many, many occasions, almost daily.
3 times a week. I'd work a day, Ricky'd work a day, 2 other guys would work. So that's about 2 to 3 times a week.
But every time you were on duty?
Every time.
Every single
day. Every day. Last 2 years of Elvis's life, it was every day.
What would Elvis do if he didn't get the drugs he wanted?
He'd get upset sometimes. We were in Vegas one time, and like we were there for like 8 weeks, you know, and Elvis was getting his drugs, but it got to a point to where his doctor wanted to shut him off in Vegas. And we couldn't reach the doctor anymore. So he jumped up on the table one day and he pulled out his .45 and he says, I'll buy a goddamn drugstore if I have to. He says, I'm going to get what I want. He says, you people better realize that either you're with me or against me. Either you take it or I'll buy your plane ticket home.
Why didn't you stop him?
I tried on different occasions to stop Elvis when I saw him take something that I thought he shouldn't be taking or taking too much of something. And on the different times he would say, like, I don't understand. But he would, you know, he would say, I need it. I don't understand. And when I first started dating Elvis, I just turned 20 at the time, and no one ever told me anything about what to expect, how the group was, or anything like that. I had to learn everything on my own. And the people that had been around Elvis for all these years, when I saw Elvis take something, or which was mainly before he would go to sleep, I thought to myself, well, it must not really be harmful if it's prescribed. And if these people over the years, if Elvis is still doing it, then it must not really be very harmful for him.
Elvis had a serious drug problem. Raul was very serious. The reason I can say is because I used to have a drug problem, we've discussed. And I would say it was very, very bad, and we knew if it continued that something like this would happen. We knew it would just be a matter of time.
Rick Stanley, another of Elvis's stepbrothers, was working at Graceland on the night Elvis died.
Were you the person who filled the prescription at Baptist Memorial?
Yes, I was.
What was it?
It was Dilaudid.
Dilaudid, a very powerful morphine-type drug.
Class A.
Then what did you do with it?
Well, I went back to Elvis's house, went upstairs, and gave it to him. Talked with him for a moment, and left.
Who signed that prescription?
Dr. Nicopolis.
What was in the second packet that you brought upstairs?
In the second packet were varieties of sleeping pills, Quaalude, some barbiturates, Seconal, Tuinals, Amritol, Valium, and a couple of Demerol tabs.
Approximately how many pills?
6 to 8 pills.
Was that common?
Yes, it was.
Did it happen every night that you were on duty?
Oh, yeah. Every night I was on duty. Elvis couldn't sleep without it.
W.S. Nash was the pharmacist on duty when Rick went to get the prescription filled at the Baptist Hospital Pharmacy. It was for Dilaudid, a powerful morphine-based narcotic. Dilaudid is a painkiller, but because the drug is so powerful and addictive, it's usually prescribed only in the most severe cases. And most certainly Elvis, who had had only 2 teeth filled that night, had no real medical need for the drug. Mr. Nash, the druggist, is now retired and living in Kentucky, but he's still pained by the memory of Elvis's last prescription.
I pictured myself as a person dispensing the fatal dose that killed him, even though that the possibility is that had that been the only drug he had taken, it probably wouldn't have killed him. But in combination with others, I'm almost sure it did.
As indeed it did. At this point in the story, there's something very important to be added. Elvis Presley was certainly no street addict. The drugs which destroyed his world and which finally killed him were all prescription medicine. He got the codeine from his dentist, the morphine and the Quaaludes from his doctor. The drugs were all legal medicine prescribed by licensed doctors and dentists. That last prescription, for instance, the morphine, was written by a man named Dr. George Nicopolis. Dr. Nick, as he was called at Graceland, had been a close friend and a member of Elvis's so-called Memphis Mafia since 1966. I'll have a lot to say about Dr. Nick and about some of the other doctors who wrote some of the other prescriptions when 2020 returns after this.